at Caitlin Clark and her diehard fan base after the Indiana Fever Stars college homecoming at the weekend. Clark made an emotional return to her old stomping ground in Iowa as Indiana faced the Brazil national team in an exhibition at Carver-Hawkeye Arena on Sunday. With the women's basketball icon back in town for the day, the non-competitive fixture generated a sellout 14,998 crowd as fans clamored to grab diehard fan base after the Indiana Fever Stars college homecoming at the weekend. Huge attendance figure Clark made an emotional return to her old stomping ground in Iowa as Indiana faced the Brazil national team in an exhibition at Carver-Hawkeye Arena on Sunday. With the women's basketball icon back in town for the day, the non-competitive fixture generated a sellout 14,998 crowd as fans clamored to grab diehard fan base after the Indiana Fever Stars college homecoming at the weekend. Clark made an emotional return to her old stomping ground in Iowa as Indiana faced the Brazil national team in an exhibition at Carver-Hawkeye Arena on Sunday. With the women's basketball icon back in town for the day, the non-competitive fixture generated a sellout 14,998 crowd as fans clamored to grab diehard fan base after the Indiana Fever Stars college homecoming at the weekend. Clark made an emotional return to her old stomping ground in Iowa as Indiana faced the Last season, they then went head-to-head for the coveted Rookie of the Year award, with the Indiana sensation ultimately coming out on top. However, their competitiveness turned ugly in 2024 when Chicago player Chendi Carter brutally shoved Caitlin to the ground, before Angel appeared to walk away with her laughing afterwards. A number of analysts claim the frenzy surrounding Clark and Reese had turned into a race war, yet they managed to brush all that aside and play together in last year's WNBA All-Star game. On the back of their Rookie of the Year battle, Angel admitted she would love to be teammates with the Fever sensation at some point in the future. "Me and Caitlin have been playing against each other since we were kids," she said last year. "It's just a full-circle moment of how women are viewed when it comes to trash talking, and it's okay in men's sport. So we're going to normalize that in women's sports as well. It's just super competitive. I think we're two great competitors. We brought a lot of fans to this league, and I thought we're going to continue to do that, and one day, hopefully, we can be teammates." Caitlin's father breaks silence on WNBA officiating as daughter dominates preseason. Indiana Fever's rising star Caitlin Clark may be turning heads in the WNBA with her talent and tenacity, but her fire on the court appears to be a family trait, one that runs straight through her father, Brent Clark. During her rookie season, the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year showed plenty of grit and emotional intensity, picking up 6 technical fouls, just one shy of an automatic suspension. And according to her dad, that passion doesn't just come from nowhere. "I see a lot of me in her." Brent Clark reflects on shared competitive edge. In an interview during Caitlin's first year in the league, Brent Clark opened up about his own playing days and how his emotions often ran high. "I was a pretty emotional player," Brent recalled. "I even recall fights in a couple of games. I wasn't the instigator, but the competitive juices just flow. Caitlin, and I see a lot of me in her in that way, but I think she does a much better job of controlling her emotion." While acknowledging their similarities, Brent admitted Caitlin has the edge when it comes to maturity and composure. "She's got fire, but she has the presence of mind not to react when someone says something or does something to her. I wish I had a little bit more of that maturity when I was at Simpson," he added. Brent Clark sounds off on officiating in the WNBA. Fast forward to May 4, 2025, and Caitlin was back on the court, this time for a preseason game against Brazil in Iowa City. Watching from the sidelines, Brent Clark was once again in the spotlight, this time sharing his thoughts on what he's learned as a first-time WNBA parent. In a live sideline interview with ESPN's Holly Rowe, Brent offered an honest take on the state of officiating across the league. "While I think there's a lot of room for improvement there, I think particularly in the officiating," he said. "I kind of noticed a little bit of a difference on Sunday. It looks like they're really officiating the game like it should be officiated. If you make the game more fluid, people are going to like the product even more than it is right now." No complaints after dominant win. While Caitlin often voiced frustration with officiating during her first WNBA season, she had little to gripe about following the Fever's dominant 108-44 preseason win over Brazil. It was a performance that showed both her growth and her team's potential heading into the 2025 campaign. Whether it's on the court or from the stands, the Clark family's competitive fire continues to shine. With Caitlin leading the charge and Brent offering support and the occasional candid commentary, the father-daughter duo is fast becoming one of the most compelling storylines in women's basketball. Caitlin's new post about Iowa return draws Kate Martin response. The start of the 2025 WNBA season is just days away, and the preseason is already underway across the league. On Sunday, the Indiana Fever took on the Brazilian national team, who gave fans at Carver-Hawkeye Arena The home arena of the Iowa Hockey is an opportunity to watch Caitlin Clark do her thing. Clark, of course, made her name during her time with the Hockeys. On Sunday, she hit a long three-pointer from the same approximate spot from which she knocked down the jumper that made her the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball history. She posted a photo of the moment on her Instagram account, and Kate Martin, her former Hawkeye teammate, reacted. "Amazing," Martin posted in response. During the 2023-24 season, Martin averaged 13.1 points and 6.8 rebounds a game while shooting 50.7% from the field. The year prior, she helped Iowa get to the women's national championship game, where it fell to Louisiana State and Angel Reese. Martin ended up being drafted last year by the Las Vegas Aces, and in December, she was taken in the expansion draft by the Golden State Valkyries. Clark, of course, became the INCA's all-time leading scorer among both men and women by surpassing Pete Maravich. As a rookie in the WNBA last year, she put up 19.2 points and a league-high 8.4 assists a game while earning an All-Star Game nod and the Rookie of the Year award. The Fever have a promising core that includes forward Aaliyah Boston and guard Kelsey Mitchell. They could also end up with the services of Michaela Timpson, a second-round draft pick last month who averaged 17.5 points, 10.6 rebounds, 3.1 blocks, and 1.8 steals per game with Florida State this past season. WNBA decks Caitlin Clark with preseason Indiana Fever decision. Things continue to heat up as the start of the new WNBA season draws closer. At this point, the new campaign tips off in just a couple of weeks' time, which is why fans are getting more and more excited with each passing day. To further stoke the flame, the WNBA released its official 2025 power rankings on Monday. The preseason edition of the rankings, unsurprisingly, has the defending champions New York Liberty sitting atop the list as the #1 team in the league. The WNBA, however, showed some disrespect toward Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever by ranking them way below the top spot. In fact, the league believes that Indiana enters the new season as only the 5th best team in the WNBA, behind the Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Seattle Storm, respectively. The analysis pointed out how the Fever successfully built around Clark during the offseason by adding veteran experience into their lineup in Dewana Bonner and Natasha Howard. The hiring of new head coach Stephanie White was also highlighted, as was the re-signing of Kelsey Mitchell in free agency. Be that as it may, the WNBA still believes that there are at least 4 other teams that are going to be better than the Fever in 2025. According to the power rankings, how quickly the new pieces and new coach mesh with the existing talent, particularly the foundational duo of Clark and Boston, will determine this team's ceiling. The silver lining here is that this is just the preseason ranking. This could change quickly if Clark and co. are able to start the season strong. Perhaps more importantly, though, this could serve as motivation for Clark and the Fever to prove their doubters wrong. Again.
Live watch that live কর লাইভ থেকে লস টাইপ করে কোন দেখি না মুরগি ছাড়া তো যায় না সব মুরগি হয়েছিল কেকটা হ্যাঁ সব এখন তো সব তিন কেজি হয়েছে স্বাভাবিক না 10 কেজি আরো দুটার দিন খাইছি বাবা আরে এখন ওই খাইলাম কি ও বাপ এই ভাত খাইতে ভালো মতো ভাত খাইয়া খাইলে দুধ খাবে ওই মায়েরা ঢুকে গেছে দুধ না খাই খালি ঘুমায় ওই খালি ঘুমায় বালে টাকা নাই রে আমার আপন বলতে আমি ছাড়া সবাই একতা আমি জীবন না বাবা মোবাইলটা দেখো 1000 টাকা ছাড় দে 1000 টাকা কি করলাম আমি এই পুরো খরচ করলাম লাভ না 1000 টাকা তো ছাড়ে দিলাম আজকে আর আপনার কি খরচ করলাম সেটা 5 টাকা মা বলছে মার বলে পড়ছিলাম মা বলছে মার বলে পড়ছিলাম মা বলছে মার বলে পড়ছিলাম